But the best piece of advice I got was, if you compromise, it was right at the beginning, and someone said, if you compromise now, you'll compromise all the way through your career. So it's not that you one day will reach a place of, this is my belief, it's not that one day you will reach a place where you can do everything you want and you have all the power that you want and people will listen to you, and you know, I think you have to choose who you are at the beginning, and then you continue to be that person. And so I think collaborating is good, but you probably shouldn't be compromising on your vision. You should try and write the things you care about, and if you don't do that, you'll end up writing things that no one wants to do. That's my view. It's got to be The Sopranos, because it just is a brilliant series, and probably because I haven't watched it in a long time, and because the series goes for a long, long time. So that's number one. The second one, probably It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because it's just the darkest thing it's the darkest comedy I've ever seen. We did quite a dark comedy called Pulling, and this is way darker than that, and it's really funny as well. Danny DeVito's in it, debases himself all the time. And strangely, maybe Battlestar Galactica, just because it's kind of epic. I love The Fades, British series, and if there was 22 episodes of that, I would be watching all of them. I just start writing them, and I hear their voices very clearly. I remember a writer saying to me once, I'm trying to develop this character, and I've done everything you're supposed to do. And I was saying, what do you mean? And they were saying, well, I've done the thing where you sit them down and ask them 50 questions. And I was saying to them, well, I don't know 50 things about any of my characters. It's a lot to ask. And knowing all that information, I don't necessarily think gives you a rounded character. It does if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and you're creating something on a chart, and you need to find their strength and stuff. But if you're making a real living human being, you can sit on a bus and hear someone behind you talking, and you can assess a huge amount of information for that. So what I try and do is listen to a character's voice, and what I try and do when I'm writing a new character is I write a voice, I write a character, and if the voice doesn't interest me, I've just had this recently writing on series 2 of Utopia. Started writing a character, and the voice just didn't interest me. It wasn't going anywhere, so the character was very two-dimensional. Just got to start again and start writing it until the voice kicks in that works. The process for series 1 was that I would write a treatment, then we'd talk about it, maybe do another draft or 2 of that, and then write a script. The process for series 2 has been the same without a treatment. So I've been just going straight to script and writing scripts. That's been harder in some ways because you've got less, you're doing the work on the script, but actually in some ways it's good as well. So, but I'm lucky with Utopia that I work with some very good people, Jane Featherstone, Karen Wilson, Mark Munden, and Becky Ray Rogers, and we all sort of sit down in a room together and kind of just go through the script, and they give good notes actually, they give really good notes, and so it's quite a collaborative and pretty friendly process. It can be difficult for a writer because you can get things that are hard for you to get, notes that are hard for you to get, but no, it's worked out quite well so far. It wasn't difficult working with Mark Munden on Utopia because he's a filmmaker really. He approaches it like being a filmmaker, but what's nice is that he rehearsed everything. So he rehearsed for 2 or 3 weeks before shooting his episodes, the 3 episodes that he did, but he set up the look and everything, And that rehearsal is great, and going into that rehearsal, he makes sure that the scripts, he really interrogates what you're doing, which is great because you're looking at, he'll phone you up and say, why is this line saying this? What's going on there? What does that mean? And it means that you're really being thorough with it. That plus the rehearsals means that when he gets to shoot, you feel like you've said everything you've got to say, and so as a result, you can let go a bit more, and that's quite a good process. But also, writing isn't directing, and I don't feel the need as a writer to tell the director, where he should put his camera, or what, or this sort of thing. The Utopia has a very distinctive look that is really all Mark. He'll say that it comes from the script, and to some extent that's true, that it comes from a feel that perhaps I wrote into the script, but the look is all his. He chose those kind of crazy colours and stuff. They offer different things, the different genres: theatre, TV, film offer different things. Film is like prose. When you write film, it's very much like writing prose, I think, because it's so visual, you know. What's great about TV is the opportunity to stay with a character and come back to them and see a story develop over over 6 episodes is great, you know, and you start off with something that's not even a story and soon it comes in, it's the main story. That's really exciting. What's nice about theatre is that theatre is essentially something that takes place in very small rooms. Even, I mean, I've got a show at the moment which is in the West End, which is Matilda, and it's been running for about 2 years, and I'd say that we probably have had about 1 million people see it. That's in that's a large theatre, but that's tiny compared to a TV audience, you know. And that's a West End show running 8 nights a week, 8 performances a week. You know, so if you're doing a show in the bush, you're really only going to have, you know, a couple of thousand people see it. And what I love about that is it means you can say things to a small group of people, and you can sort of whisper things that perhaps you can't say to a larger group of people. So that's very exciting about theatre.